Welcome back, my friends, to the show that, of course, never ends, with the gift that keeps giving, isn't it? This Labour Party, what they're going to do. Well, you know, it all becomes personal when it becomes personal. You know, letting someone out of prison, if you're not a victim of crime or you don't have any family and whatever, it doesn't really affect you. Just, you know, just gets on your tits because everyone's becoming a lefty. Well, I listened this morning, to my lady, my bird, right, trying to get an appointment. Well, she had an appointment for the NHS. One is a clinic, an NHS clinic. See, her lad is one of these guys that's got two, you know, they've got that overcrowded railings, they smile like that, and it's like Liberace's fucking piano. He's got to have a couple out to let the things grow. So they've gone to a clinic. Oh, yeah, we can do that. Yes, we can do that for you. This is the NHS dental clinic. But we can't even start to take a booking until next April. Okay? And then it might take a month after that. So the poor bugger has got to carry these extra railing rounds in his mouth. So then she goes to the NHS dentist place, the orthodontist today, to another place that she's been going to since February. And this bloody horrible or woman that speaks with an Irish accent, kept saying, well, he's got to learn to brush his teeth properly. We can't do this and that. When he's got to have a brace on later, whatever. So she's gone there today to try and get this sorted. How long before he can have 2 teeth out? Right? Answers on a postcard. Yes, you've guessed it. 1 year. 12 months. How long does it take to pull 2 fucking teeth out? Give me a pair of pliers. Do you remember they say in the old days you could tie a bit of string around your tooth and put it around the handle of a door and slam the door and it'll come out? Well, that worked all right in the Beano and the Dandy. It didn't do it for real because I cut me lip. I was only a couple of days ago, actually. Anyway, so this is what it's like, trying to listen to someone who's desperately trying to sort her son out, and there is a year waiting list to have the teeth out. What the fuck? And I hate the NHS anyway. I'll go private. I do. I don't care what you all say, you snob, whatever, disgrace to the working class. Fuck you. You go and die then. I'll get better. I'm going to pay to get better. I don't want to be ill. I don't want to go in the NHS with a verruca and catch something and my cock falls off on the way out. I don't want to go in there speaking English and come out with different fucking accents from all over the world. No. This is a report that's come out now that has revealed our NHS is well and truly fucked. Well, that's a shock, isn't it? They had to have a report. This is this new Health Secretary, Wes Streeting. I don't know what he did before that. He was probably 11. Anyway, he has ordered an independent investigation into the state of the NHS, right? Now, before we get started, let me tell you about the NHS. I did a deal for Care After Combat that I formed for the NHS to help out and to give us some staff, which they did, and they were brilliant staff that worked permanently with us. We were giving mentors to guys that are coming out of prison. This is another thing we'll talk about later. Veterans that were, when they were in prison, we give them a mentor in prison, and when they come out, yeah, do the crime, you do the time. I believe that. But I agree with old Michael Gove, what he said, prisons should not be warehouses full of geezers, and now women and the other women with... Anyway, so to reduce reducing reoffending. And so now what's going on? So they're letting all these people out, and they're doing a fucking nightmare. So that was our problem. Do you remember when the pandemic was on? I got a call from the Justice Secretary saying, Jim, how many veterans, we're going to let out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of prisoners because they're all going to catch the lurgy and drop dead. How many veterans can we let out, of which there were 4,000 in prison, that you can look after? So we said all of them, but it's going to cost this much. And it never fucking really happened. And so I managed to get the NHS to give us mental health treatment people and money to help us do this. And of course it went fantastic. God bless the NHS, I said, until I did a little joke on here, not a joke, a mention about diversity with the kneeling on people. You know that idiot Ashley Bongo and Banjo. And the NHS said, we are going to withdraw our funding and everything from Care After Combat. We want nothing to do with them if Jim Davidson's involved. Luckily, I already left because I saw it coming. You know, so the NHS, terrible. They nearly killed me, the NHS, when I went there with the diverticulitis. Do you remember that story? It's on the DVD, on the video. Have a look at Live from Norfolk and you'll see it on Ustream. But anyway, let's look at this report about the NHS. It hasn't come as a fucking shock to me. It's unbelievable. Do you know there's only two bigger employers than the NHS in the whole world, and that is the Indian Railways, these geezers hanging on the top of trucks, and the Chinese military, apparently. Well, anyway, they said it is in a critical condition. What does that mean? How much does it cost to keep that shit show running? 181.7 billion pounds a year. For what? For what? Third world healthcare. That's what it is. If you go to Nairobi, Kenya, anywhere, you'll get exactly the same, with the same looking staff too, who speak the same language. Not English, mainly. Right, you've got to wait a year to see a doctor, then end up with your leg chopped off when you went in for a fucking ear infection. Oh no, the NHS is the envy of the world. My ass. Do you know what? If we didn't have an NHS, would we invent it? Would we? Fuck no. And people treat this thing like a cult. You know, anyone who's dared to mention that the whole thing is fucking useless and not fit for purpose, you're a witch, you're the bad guy, you're a right-winger. Fucking hell. Privatise the fucking lot. Give everyone health. Look, let's say for instance, you get you earn, self-employed, 50 grand a year, right? Or your employer pays you 50 grand a year. Let's say someone works here and says, all right, Jim, I'll come and work for Ustream. I want £30,000 a year plus free medical, like they say in America. That means we will pay the medical insurance. It'll work a treat. And then that comes off your corporation tax. Why are we wasting so much fucking money? That's why everyone's so scared to touch it over the years. Oh, no, it's our NHS, the pride of the world. We paid our stamp. We should have this. Well, it don't work. It's not fucking fit for purpose. All they do is pump billions and billions and billions in it, and it does nothing to improve it. The whole thing needs fucking shutting. Seriously. I don't think it's anything to do with being underfunded. I think it's to do with being terribly, terribly managed. I had a mate, Stucky, used to work for me. When he left show business, he got a job in the NHS as the maintenance man. He used to go in the morning, have a sleep all day, and then go home. Go up and tap something with a spanner, that was him, and got paid a fucking absolute fortune. And now we've got this whole band of middle managers earning a fucking fortune, doing fuck all, and thousands of diversity and equality officers. How much they earn? A diversity and equality officer. Yeah, 100 grand a year. What do they fucking do? What does a diversity officer do in the NHS? Looks after the minority white people that work there. Well, come on. You know, it's enough to make a saint like me rather bigoted. Get rid of the fucking lot of them. What's the chief executive? She's a Doris, isn't she? Amanda Pritchard. I can see her now. Yeah, driving home with her rainbow laces. I'm not accusing her of anything. I'm just saying that's what they look like. It's like, you know, English teachers, when I was a kid, always drove Morris Thousands and had the beginning of a moustache and they wore flat shoes and looked like that woman Hegarty on The Chase. Anyway, why are we wasting so much money on these frontline fucking people instead of getting nurses, decent nurses, look like Barbara Windsor rather than David Lammy? Seriously, these fuckers need to be held accountable. And Keir Starmer said the NHS must reform or die. Yeah, so now this is the thing. There's got to be 3 big shifts to sort it out. Moving from hospital care, moving from dialogue to digital, and going from treating illness to preventing it. How the fuck is that? Do you remember that last thing? Tough on crime, tough on the reasons for crime. It sounds like fucking bollocks, doesn't it? Typical. Well, they haven't got the bollocks to make real changes needed, have they? And this is the latest from our Labour comrades in charge, right? The Labour MPs the other night voted to cut winter fuel allowance for millions of pensioners, right? Who's the nasty party now? Every single one of those motherfuckers who voted in favour of freezing pensioners was Labour. Every one, apart from one geezer, he's dropped out. It'll come to me in a minute. So they all saying, oh no, we were in floods of tears before we voted. What? Spare me the bullshit and the crocodile tears. You knew it was wrong. Everyone knew it was wrong. You just didn't have the balls to go with your own convictions. Eh? So much for democracy. You should have done the right thing. The one geezer, the MP, what is it? John Trickett, that's it. Well done, Mr. Trickett. What a fucking name, you changed that, wouldn't you? Yeah. Right, seriously, I wonder what they're going to do against him. They'll take his whip off of him. Well, all you others, the cowards who abstained, shame on you. Shame on you. And it was Labour who reported that 4,000 pensioners were at risk of dying if the Conservatives got rid of the winter fuel allowance back in 2017. Funny that, isn't it? Now it's them that's done it. Now it's them. It's all gone quiet on the left. It's a fucking absolute hypocrites, every one of them. Listen, I didn't mean this to be so political as it turns out, but you just can't make any jokes about this fucking shit show that's going on by these MPs that's getting 90,000 a year and using our fucking money, your money, taxpayers, right, to cover the energy expenses on their second homes. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, I've had a report get sent to me today, and it is the state of British pubs. It is the state of British pubs. I'm going to go over to Ustream now. If you want to hear this and also hear what I've got to say about pensioners, and prisoners being let out, if you want the whole full shebang, come over to Ustream now, like loads of you are doing in droves. And thank you for supporting me in my fight against the BBC that have basically named their UK TV channel Ustream. What? Stream free. What the fuck is all that about? You know, what is it with the BBC? There's like an itch I can't scratch, seriously, but thank you for supporting me. And you support me and my team by subscribing. I know it sounds like I'm begging for money, but I am begging for money. I want to make some programs and get our country back and save the right of free speech. So come to Ustream now. You can get a chance to see my brand new show here on Ustream before anybody else. Yes, my latest concert up in Great Yarmouth. The greatest hits of Jim Davidson in the Swimming Against the Tide tour. There's been no mention of a disabled games. Now, I wonder why that is. Have they all got better? Anyone from the north of England? Well, fuck off back there. You can now rent this on Ustream. Go to the shop and get it before anyone else sees it.